Good morning to you, our audience. Ted and Ed TV channel welcome each of you to our weekly Saturday broadcast where we give insightful views on economic, political, world, and environmental issues concerning how money connects those matters. Our hosts, Mr. Ted Harvey Sr. and Mr. Edward Bishop III, are now taking each of you into our world of money and its value, along with the evils that come from the greed of hoarding financial power. He that controls the gold controls the important decisions in this world.
Okay, so hey.
Good morning, people. We are live out there. How are you guys doing this morning? It is 9 o'clock. We are trying to get ourselves together here on Ted and Ed TV channel. We got into our post segment here and everything and got kind of late. But we're here, and good morning, Ted. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, bro. I mean, everything is going well. I can't complain. Just so many things that's been going on, man. It's just unbelievable. But it's some things that we probably should really jump on. And one thing I want to do is give Aretha Franklin, all respect, and what an honor. I mean, I've listened to her music since I was a teenager, all the way through. And she was definitely a blessing to so many people. You know, her voice, her style, her mannerism, and I just want to say rest in peace. I mean, I've been kind of down, because there are about 4 or 5 females that I've followed over the last 30, 40, I would say 40 years or more, 50 years. That's Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, Dionne Warwick, Diana Ross, and Aretha Franklin. Those 5 are my people, and one of them is gone now. And I'm believing that her family will be, strong about it. I know that's a big loss to her. She was like the queen of the family too, as well.
Queen of Soul, man. Queen of Soul, man. She touched a lot of folks' lives, even in the political arena. She her singing and stuff at Barack Obama's first inauguration and stuff and everything was just, man, it was something else. And anytime you have any political event, a lot of times, she's invited and stuff there when there's a social portion of it going on, because she is, like you said, she's the Queen of Soul, and she was a very profound woman and stuff there. Her voice transcended race, cultures, and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people and stuff, probably in other, she did a lot of work outside the country, and most of them out there couldn't speak any English at all, but her voice was just took her to places and stuff that most of us couldn't go to. And you spoke about how she has been a part of your life and everything and stuff, Ted. But I when I found out about it and I heard about it and everything, I reflected back on a time where she had the most profound, effect upon me. I went to school up in Wisconsin, and it was about 50 miles north of Milwaukee, right on the ocean, right on the lake and stuff. A town called Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and we used to sit down and never got any black music at all, because it was, you got past the urban areas and stuff in those days, man. And the FM stations weren't really out there and stuff yet. So the only thing we could listen to was AM. And I remember, man, those days when school was out and we would all be heading back to our homes and stuff. And man, when I crossed that Wisconsin border and came to Illinois and we got close to Chicago, man, we turned on WVON, and man, I'm sitting there riding down the expressway and stuff in the evening time because we always got back late, man, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning into Chicago. And Aretha, man, her voice just brought me home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But, thinking about, when you say politics, she was involved in a lot of politics, supported a lot of politics and civil rights. And the one thing that's going on now in politics, Ed, and you're aware of this, and I tell you, who in the world is going to be running the Democratic Party? Looks like it's an infighting going on, or somebody want to be in charge because Pelosi, they want to kick her to the curb. A lot of these millennials, young people that's out there, and look like the old heads still want to keep it. So I'm trying to figure out. They need some new blood. They need some new blood. It's not going to be Ellison, Keith Ellison. He's already been nominated for the Secretary of State over in Minnesota, and or state attorney general, and so I don't know. It's going to be an infight, and I'm looking. I mean, you very astute when it comes to politics. I have no idea because they are a confused party in my mind.
Well, I don't think that there is a lot of confusion and stuff there, Ted, because you can stir up a lot of things. People can be running around and trying to gather control to be the one who's that cream that's going to rise to the top. And I think, just like you said, there is a little stuff going on there. There's a lot of factions and stuff out there. You got Kamala Harris and stuff there in the Senate. You got a girlfriend from the Massachusetts and stuff who's there. You got Nancy Pelosi and stuff there. And for some reason or another, those are 3 women. That's stuff that I brought up first. I don't know why, but I did that. You got Bernie Sanders and stuff out there, and you still got Joe Biden and stuff and everything, who is still out there and stuff in the mix. And you got Perez and stuff, who is the Democratic National Committee chairperson and stuff out there. And in a way, I think all of them are probably going to have something to say about what's going to happen. And you're right, there are a lot of young folks and stuff out there. I don't know all their names and stuff. One of the guys, he's a representative from Ohio and stuff. He's trying to gather up a lot of strength and stuff out there. You got Schumer and stuff out there, who was the minority leader and stuff there in the Senate. So there's a lot of folks out there. And for lack of a better topic and stuff there, you have President Obama, who is still behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
he's still there. He's quietly sitting there trying to navigate a few things and stuff out there. So, and then you hear people talking about Oprah Winfrey and stuff running for president. Oprah's not going to run, but it's just some ideas that folks are throwing out there. So there's a lot of things going on. But I do think that eventually it's going to iron itself out. And you're right, Nancy, Bernie Sanders, they are getting old, man. They're in their 70s, almost 80s and stuff and everything. Well, and they're not going to be able to.
The big thing is that, see, these people are going to have to withstand 45, whoever's running. We're hoping, just for sanity's reasons, that the Dems take over the House, at least, just for sanity, so there'd be some kind of order. Because right now, the Republicans are scared to death to come against 45. And in my mind, I'm thinking somebody's going to have to be thick-skinned, and they're going to have to talk about 45 and say what he is. He's a dog. You know, he's a racist, and you know, the term racist is kind of loosely, I mean, because see, you can, in the slavery days, they loved black people, but they was racist as long as the black folks was doing what they told them to do. Get over there, boy, and I need you to go over there and do those fields, or and they'll bring them in the house, they eat their food and the whole thing. There was that power. He made a statement about Aretha Franklin saying that, yeah, she worked for me. She didn't work for him. And so, so now he's the 45 is sitting here battling with what's her name, Amamosa, and she's got all
She
these
worked
tapes
for
on
him.
her. Now she worked for him.
She worked for him.
Yeah, and he, she even had the tapes on the conversation she had with him when she told him that they let me go, and he had like he didn't even know nothing about it.
It wasn't him that was on there. It was John Kelly and stuff who was
No,
sitting
she had
there
a
in the
tape
situation.
on him telling him that Kelly let her go. And he said, I don't understand it. Why? Why did they do this? Well, and he was copping a plea with her, talking about I don't understand it. And she had a tape on Kelly.
Yeah, but the one that she had that's speaking there with him, Ted, wasn't really something that showed any bad things and stuff about him and everything, because as the president and stuff, he doesn't
He was
most of the time. He doesn't. He's not the person and stuff that deals in personnel matters. The most important thing about that whole thing was that she had a tape of John Kelly inside the Situation Room. That was very, very profound there, because most people who come inside their Situation Room and stuff, they leave their phones and stuff is out. It's supposed to be one of the most secure areas in the White House. And she exploited that security. Now, that was devastating and stuff, as far as anything that happened and stuff in this whole week and stuff out of what Omarosa has done. Now, it doesn't mean that she doesn't have a lot of other stuff and stuff out there, because supposedly she got over, 200 tapes and stuff out there, and she's only put out about 4 or 5 of them, and she has this book out there and everything. So she is dominating the news media cycle and stuff right now.
She's everywhere.
She is really dominating that news cycle and stuff out there.
Radio, TV, she's everywhere. And she's voting, and she's going to make her money. However, this is some serious stuff. However, like I always tell my wife, Kama is a bitch. When he was dogging President Obama all those years, and now it's falling right back on him, and all this pressure with the Russian gate, all this mess about his incompetency, and all of that. So, we'll see what comes transpires of that kind of stuff. But the one thing that I did want to talk about, Ed, and let me get your take on it, because it was a big conversation about this. And the Democratic Party is switching, and they're trying to pull the Democratic Party to the left, further left. Now, a lot of these Democrats are calling themselves Democratic Socialists. And a lot of people trying to think, they're thinking about the actual term of socialism. But the Democratic Party, the way they see what they mean by democratic socialists is that you're talking being able to have access to universal health care, access to free college or trade school, access to fair housing. This right here is what they're thinking, what democratic social is about. They have nothing to do with these businesses out here or nothing like that. But they want the corporations to pay their fair share of taxes, so that infrastructure, jobs, and what have you. So the thing is that you got the Republicans always talking about what, 2 or 3 wedge issues: being military strong, they're against abortion, and keeping their guns. However, the Democrat socialist is about limiting all of these types of things, limiting expenditures on the military, access to health care, and as well as abortion. So this country is in a big turmoil right now, because who's selling the American people? And see, the American people is like this. In my mind, I look at it like this: when it happens to your family, everything is fine. You're doing well, everything is wonderful. But as soon as something happens in your family, then you want access to all of that kinds of things, like college education. We can't get a scholarship, we can't get any scholarships, or we can't get any loans, or we can't get that. And then they're concerned, but they don't look at the big picture. And that's what I see. I don't see the American people, as long as they're doing fine economically, and they got their health insurance, and they got this and they got that. Everything is wonderful, and that's everybody. I'm not just talking about white folks. I'm talking about everybody. Anybody that's got their health care and everything, and they're doing fine, and they looking their nose down on people that need adequate housing. We got too many homeless people in this country. Too many homeless people, and a lot of them, 25, 30, 40% of them are 40%. I just read an article. 40% of the people that's homeless in this country are African American, are Black people. That's a shame. Out of the millions and millions of people, and we're only 13% of the population. So there it is. So you tell me, I used to think I used to call myself a liberal libertarian. I'm not I look at that, because I wanted to be independent. But at the same time, I want to be liberal on all the issues, because I believe people should be free. But I'm liking this democratic socialist thing. I'm liking that. I'm really falling in love with that. The more information I get about it, the more things that come to light on it. As long as they don't go to that far left, and all radical, and hugging trees and all of that kind of stuff. I'm for the environment. We know the Republicans are not. So, because we need to take care. We need to have fresh water, and we need to breathe, have fresh air. They polluting the air, they're polluting the ground. So, because of all of these deregulations. So that's my take on that, there's this democratic socialist thing going on, because I'm really digging it, the more I hear about it.
Well, Ted, I think you probably brought in a whole lot of different outside stuff into that democratic socialist idea, because really, actually, and stuff, what they are calling socialism is really not socialism.
Right.
Yeah, it's not socialism ideas and stuff. It's just that each of our presidents and stuff and everything who have came on from all the way back to Bush 1, when they started talking about the ideas and that platform and their theme and stuff of how they wanted to take this country, most of them they brought in a theme called the center, and were you right of the center or were you left of the center? And most of the Republicans and stuff always tried to stay just a little bit, past the center and stuff, headed toward the right. And most of your Democratic candidates, starting with Clinton and stuff and everything, he tried to grab that center and stuff to where he could, talk a little bit about doing things for people and everything, or bringing jobs or whatever, the infrastructure and building that up. And then you had your Republicans and stuff who always brought in the idea about the tax cut. We got to have a tax cut. We got to relieve the problems and stuff and everything on the American people, because their biggest problem and stuff is their taxes. We got to stop that. Well, each one of those theories and stuff had their fallacies and stuff and everything, because if you notice and stuff, even though Clinton was supposed to have been the first supposedly black president and stuff and everything, he got rid of welfare. He was the one that reformed welfare when we
Three strikes you out.
Yeah, it wasn't a psych out and stuff. He did something and stuff there, but you have to realize and stuff that he was in a position and stuff as a president and coming up for re-election where he had to do something and everything about welfare, because the country was tuned into it, and the Republicans had was beating that drum so hard and stuff, and they were getting the country to move toward this issue. Well, right now in 2018 and in 2016 and stuff, when Hillary and stuff was running, Trump ran on a platform that we thought was just outrageous and stuff. To say this man but he spoke to those issues and stuff and everything that got people to thinking that maybe he could do something about what's going on, because even though during Obama's administration, the country was doing well, they were reducing the debt, they were doing a lot of other things and stuff, but the Democrats and stuff missed the fact and everything that even though things were going well, there were segments and stuff of this country and stuff that wasn't doing very well, just like you spoke about. Things and stuff were not happening and stuff for them. They weren't their needs and stuff and everything were not being taken care of. All the money and stuff and everything was going to the people and stuff on the top and everything who had all the money. And it wasn't coming down to the folks and stuff who were sitting down there struggling, trying to make a living. So he tuned in to that segment and stuff of the society and stuff out there, and they believed him. Even though it was, he didn't get all of them to agree to him. He just got just enough to get him over the top, because if you notice and stuff and that thing, he won a lot of those states and stuff by some very, very thin margins. He won Michigan by a very thin margin. He won Wisconsin by a very thin margin. Those are those northern states and everything that you consider the Democrats ought to win. But he won those states and everything because of that. But after he got in office and everything, he started going way right on some things, and he wasn't actually a leader. They listened to his mouth, but they didn't look at what the heck he did. You can't listen to somebody's mouth, because you can say anything. Is what you do that you need to watch out for. So now we're finding that the Democratic Party and stuff and everything, they were trying to grab that center all the time. And sometimes you can grab that center and you're going to be okay. But right now, you can't grab that center anymore. You got to start talking about issues like you talked about, like your health care. People, even though they beat the Affordable Care Act down, people out there were enjoying the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, and it became something that people just said, "Hey, this is all right." After that thing got to be enacted and everything, and people started doing it. Oh man, they taking care of my health care. A lot of people, Ted, were
we're aware of that.
Didn't have it before, and he wanted to. He was at Obama was at a time and stuff and everything where he wanted to do some infrastructure things, some big, huge projects and stuff that that the Republicans and stuff didn't want him to have, because they knew that these things were winning items. You can win on health, on infrastructure. You can build an infrastructure. People are going to go to work. They knew this, but they didn't want him to have that victory. So they beat him down and stuff on it. And every time he tried to bring that up, there were people who were down there, but the Republicans and stuff had grabbed that time and stuff, because they took over
a little bit more than that,
the House. They took over that House and stuff in 2010, and 2012 they came and took over the Senate too. So he couldn't get his programs enacted.
Well, that's because a lot of times President Obama was fighting them because they wanted to turn it over to big corporations and privatize a lot of that stuff, and he wanted to do a little differently. But the one thing that I really believe is that the American people are rising up. I mean, they're realizing now they have to be engaged. And that's on both sides, you know, wherever you want to call what both sides is. I don't really know nowadays, you know, because some people are at the extreme and too far left, too far right. And I don't know what's going on with that, but the American people are getting more and more engaged because there are so many wedge issues that are going on. In Clearwater this week, the guy that got shot down to stand your ground here in Florida, they finally arrested the guy and got him for manslaughter. Now, I don't know what's going to come of it, but it's a big deal right now as far as this stand your ground law. And a lot of people are against it. And some people want to keep it here in Florida. And, you know, and if you look, there's quite a few states that have that law in effect. And so, and we already know that the NRA is sort of kind of going belly up to a certain degree. They have lost a lot of their momentum. So we'll see what comes out of that wedge issue. And you got the judge coming up. So, you know, it's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff.
It takes sophistication, I guess, Ted, when you start talking about what's going on and stuff now, because you know, you spoke about what's going on there in Florida about the stand your ground thing. Well, we in other parts of the country and stuff, they don't have that stand your ground law and everything, and people are still getting away with shooting people and killing black folks and stuff out there. It all depends on that narrative and stuff and everything, and who you have in those key positions and stuff who can enact those laws, you know, law and order, you know, justice and stuff or whatever. Evidently, there in Clearwater, you guys put enough pressure on your state's attorney there, or whoever the one who was involved with the prosecution and stuff, those cases and stuff and everything. There was enough pressure put on them to where they said, okay, we're going to indict this person and stuff in the Clearwater. But like we've seen, an indictment doesn't mean anything. Right. It's how you present that case and get it to the end and stuff and everything into the jury's hand and convince the jury that what this man did and stuff was wrong. And that takes a whole lot and stuff and everything on that person and stuff who was prosecuting that case. And also his defense attorneys, they're going to try to get him off, whoever it did. You have to look at some things and stuff and saying, hey, we're going to be able to do this. An indictment only means one thing. It's what happens after jury trial, guilty or innocent. So anyway, getting back to what I was talking about these niche things, niche issues and stuff, you finding out and stuff that a lot of them, and some of your politicians and stuff, they are realizing this. I saw Nancy on television and stuff there on, I think on Wednesday or Thursday and stuff of this week. And she was in there speaking about what was going on there in the Democratic Party and stuff, and how, because you have these elections coming up in the midterm, that there are representatives and stuff in different parts of the country who have to speak to the issues and stuff, their people and stuff in their community, because until November 6th get here and they cross that threshold, becoming the representative for their district, it doesn't matter and stuff what's going on in the national scene. They have to deal with what's going on there locally, and each area and stuff has their own little niche thing that they got to talk about. You know, most people and stuff want issues are healthcare. You know, that's a national thing. You got to have healthcare, infrastructure. You got to talk about that. But then there's a lot of things and stuff here that deals with people and stuff locally and what they think they need the most. So she's asking her people and stuff out there to speak to their own district's issues and not anything nationally. Keep her out of it. She doesn't want to get into that, and you don't need to do that. But when you start getting into the senatorial races and stuff, you start talking about statewide issues, and that becomes a little bit more national or whatever. So if these people and stuff, and I'm saying the Democrats, because you are right, they are people, they are folks out there rising up. And I believe that the Republican leaders, Ted, are making a big mistake by following Trump. I do. Even though he has his group of folks that follow him no matter what, they are making a big mistake and stuff and everything by allowing him to just run rampant and not do anything, because he is destroying them, actually destroying them, and they don't see it. Or at least if they see it, their actions is not saying they see it.
Well, you know, when you have so many people that are retiring or not running again, they see it. They just don't know what to do with it and how to handle it, because there's you know, I want to call them something else, but there's a group of people. There's a group of people that are out there that congregate, and they constantly attack these Republicans. They're threatening the Republicans. They're threatening the Democrats. These are people that are out there they claim that they want to change America, whatever that means, and
make America great.
Well, I mean, I don't think they want to.
Those are Trump's words. Make America great again.
I don't think what it is that they don't want to compete fairly. They want to still have their privileges, you know. And I think that's what it is. You know, America's about competition. America is about competing. And if you're stopping somebody from making a presentation, you know, and you want to compare which one is going to be better for you to buy that particular product, and the one that is not like you has the better product and made the better presentation, they say, no, we're going to go with the other guy because he's like us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. You know, I mean, you know, we look at our entertainers and our athletes. Okay, better product. You understand? That's why a lot of them are very popular, making a lot of money, because it's a better product. So the point is, all of us are not excellent like that. We don't have those gifts, but we still want to be treated equally and fairly, and give us a shot. That's all we ask. Give us a shot, you know? And right now, you know, you got advertisers that are, you know, they're opening up their doors to a certain degree to, you know, these black actors and entertainers and what have you. But it's the little guy, the small person, taxation without representation, the ones that are out there in the so-called black neighborhoods, the urban areas, are not getting their shot. They apply for jobs and they just toss them to the side. They can be trained just like anybody else to do those jobs. So, and I'm talking about good paying jobs. I ain't talking about these McDonald's and Walmart jobs. I'm talking about good paying jobs that's going to pay you $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year or more, you know? And so that's, to me, this is what this is all about. This is about competition, and they want to keep the status quo, and they're scared of competition. A lot of people out there, and I'm talking about all races. You know, all races are competing. They're competing. You know, all nationalities are competing, and the people that they go trying to hold down are two groups of people. When they know we're 13% of the population, Latinos are 20% of the population. That's 33%. So
Uh,
I'm just telling you
and
right
then
now,
you
scared of
have,
competition.
well, I don't know if it's competition they're talking
They're
about. They
scared.
realize that they are losing that majority.
Oh yeah, population wise, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is you still got to get in the door, bro. You got to get in the table. You know, and they have their little special
Well,
picks and get on the table,
well,
and they have their one
there
little token or two
there's
tokens.
but there is nothing wrong with having that to happen and everything, because you know, Ted, that when we were out there and stuff in that marketplace and everything, we had to do what needed to be done and everything to grab that job. And sometimes you have to know somebody to get that. You have to network with people and stuff out there. That's why you see these media outlets out there like LinkedIn and some of the other outlets out there who are bringing people in onto a platform and allowing them to network with different people who are professionals and stuff out there. And that's how you get to where you're going. Now, everybody is not going to get all those good jobs and stuff that are going on out there. That's why you see now in Silicon Valley and all the other ones and stuff, they start talking about these startups and stuff and everything. These companies that who are starting up what they need to do to change society and stuff and everything, and have jobs and stuff out there that are going to be the job of the future. You know, artificial intelligence and all that other stuff and everything. What's going on out there in the internet
Well,
world?
you know, Silicon
That's,
Valley's only looking for the new thing, man. That's all they're looking
yeah,
for. What's going to be
yeah,
the new thing, and they invest in it.
yeah,
There's plenty of
yeah,
money to invest.
and they make money doing that.
But
And
that's all
you
that's
find out, you know, the we are operating now, and you spoke about it just a little bit. We are in competition and stuff. This country is in competition with a lot of other countries and stuff now, as far as how they are going to be able to uh, get jobs or whatever stuff out there, because we already know that these companies have taken these manufacturing jobs and stuff and moved them outside of our borders. They're in Mexico, or they over in China, or they over in India and stuff now, and they moved away. So we don't have those things and stuff now. So how do we compete and stuff out there? You have to
well. It's think
create
about
your own
this, Ed.
jobs. You have to
Right?
start doing things that are going to put money and stuff into your pocket. And because
That
how people
right
make
there,
money, how
it's
people make
easier said
money,
than done.
how people make money is changing.
Easier said than done, Ed, because you have to have capital, brother. And you got thousands, I would dare say millions of black folks that's got ideas. They want, but they have to have capital. You have to have a stream of capital coming in. When you talked about those startups, let me tell you something. When those startups come in and they're doing this and doing that, and they say, oh, okay, we need another round of capital
Absolutely.
equity. So they get another
Absolutely.
round of $50 million. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
but no one's doing that for the black community, for the urban
But
areas.
you don't give up because it's not
Ain't
happening
nobody
to you,
saying giving
Ted.
up. Ain't nobody gonna
You
give
have
up. You
to
gotta live, bro.
find a way to bring that
Well,
capital and
that
stuff
finding that
into
way has
your
been
pocket.
for
Yes, you have to
so
find a
realistically,
way
it's
to get
been it's
capital.
been going on for 50 years,
But you can't
strong.
but you can't worry about what happened 50 years ago right now. You
No,
know
I ain't
what's going
talking about 50,
on.
worrying about 50 years ago. I'm saying it's been going on for 50 years.
Oh, well, yeah,
All the
but
different
it's
redlining, going to the bank, not getting those loans, losing your business because you couldn't keep fuse the capital to come in. Then you try to go somewhere else to get the capital. And so the point is that in my mind, and I think a lot of athletes and entertainers are realizing this. that in order to have a better Black community or urban areas, they have to invest in those corporations. I mean, I said this before a while back. I remember when I was going to school in Wisconsin, and Dick Gregory came to our this is back in the late '67, early '70s, and Dick Gregory came to our campus, and I was the person that picked him up, and he asked me to run with him because he liked to run during that time. He was on his Vietnam tour, and man, I had all kind of FBI people and everything else, and we running around the track. And he said, and he was just talking to me, and he told me a few things, but he said, "You have a question for me, don't you?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "How come these Black people don't invest in other Black people to start other businesses in the community?" And you know what he said? "You can't tell Black people what to do with their money."
Or white people.
so, so the point is that, but when you look at other nationalities, other ethnic groups, that's what they did. They invested in their own community. The Irish, the Italians.
Absolutely right, Ted.
Jewish
You
community.
can't tell Black people how to invest their money because they got it and they're gonna hold on to it.
That's why we are where we are right now, because
no, it's not. We can't.
Yes, it is.
You don't. I think that's a
besides
cop-out.
taxation without representation. No, ain't no cop out, bro. When they ain't getting no money.
It is a cop out. You're making excuses. Stop making excuses.
Taxation without representation.
Stop making excuses.
And no investments.
Those are not excuses.
That's a reality.
Yes, it is. It's an excuse.
Well, because you made it, and because I sort of kind of made it, and we sort of kind of doing okay, and so therefore, they're using excuses. That sounds like the white man to me, Ed.
It's not. It's not. That's about you. We are making excuses and stuff and everything. Quit making excuses, because when you sit there, when you got a lot of white folks that's down and out too. Blaming your plight on other people.
That's not a blame. That's a reality.
You need to look into the mirror and say,
not a blame.
Ed, they say, Ed, I look in the mirror and I say, Ed, what do I need to do?
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Change what's going on.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you believe in God?
Who?
Do you believe in God?
Oh yeah.
Do you know there's a devil?
The Lord helps.
I'm asking you a question. One or two. Do you know
help themselves?
No.
The devil is always the devil.
Right.
The evil.
Okay.
The evil has always been out there, Ted. But when Jesus was on this earth, he didn't allow the bad people to determine how he thought. He didn't. When he found people and stuff who were doing bad, who were doing wrong and stuff, he went in and corrected them. So wait a minute, hold it. When he saw these devils up there in his church and stuff and everything, changing money and doing evil, what did he do? He threw them out. We don't need you guys. Even though they brought money into that temple, they were bringing money in there and people were sitting in there and doing whatever they want. It was wrong.
Those are money changed. They was making money off the church. But what I'm saying is, because what you just said, what did you just say? What did you just say? You just said that those people, Jesus ran them out of the church.
Yes, he did.
And when Jesus ran them out of the church, but Jesus, he was God walking the earth. But Jesus had followers that was trying to be like him. But they weren't him. They weren't
What's your point?
The point is that you have so many great leaders in this country. I'm talking about, when I say leaders, I'm talking about entertainers, athletes, business people, and what have you. They have made it. Okay, they got their 10
Yep.
houses and 20 cars and all that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the point is
they
that
made it, and like Dick Gregory told you, you can't tell black people to do.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that.
Their money, okay?
With that.
They
But what I'm saying is that don't sit up here and tell me that you're my brother's keeper, okay? When you don't invest in your own people. That's all I'm saying.
But it's their money, Ted. And my point and stuff is that I'm not going to stop doing.
Okay, I didn't get off my soapbox.
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop because somebody else didn't taking their money and using it.
I got off my soapbox, bro. I'm just putting
I'm
it
not
to light.
I'm not going to stop.
I'm bringing it to light. That's all.
I'm not going to stop trying to buy me a home or to buy me a car.
You don't need no damn 20 homes, bro.
To buy my.
You don't need no 100 cars, bro.
Well, I got a
President
few
Obama he got more money. Hey, President Obama said he got more money than he ever had. He said all I need is one house and one car.
Absolutely.
Okay? All right.
He is, but he still got them. He still got them other ones. He still got a house in Chicago. He still owns. He still got a house in Washington, D.C. that he owns.
Greed and selfishness. And selfishness.
Well,
that's what the Republicans are all about, and even a lot of the Democrats. You know, they got advantage. They got those tax advantages too. Just like all those millionaire Democrats got those tax advantages too.
Oh hell yeah, they did. They didn't not take it.
But I asked you
not take it.
Well, wait a minute. Let me ask you this. I asked you a question. I said, "Is there a God? Do you believe in the devil?"
Yeah, the devil's out
there. Now
listen
to this. Listen to this. Joel Osteen. Now, I don't know how true this is. I read it on Facebook. There was an article on it, and they talking about he getting ready to get a divorce. Now, he's one of the biggest televangelists in the world. He's got millions. He's worth millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And he's getting a divorce. Now, he's a minister. Why are you getting a divorce?
What's wrong with that? If you can't,
it's a big deal. It's a big wrong with it. The Bible.
Why is it?
You're supposed to love your wife to death do you part.
Yeah, but sometimes.
And he's supposed to be an example. So now you know what's going to happen in his church. There's going to be so many divorces. What's the difference? Why be a Christian if you're not going to love your wife?
There's something wrong with them, but they don't follow. He may love his wife, Ted. He may love his wife, but there may be a situation and stuff and everything to where it is death.
Well, I don't know the situation.
He could be.
You need to come out with it.
He could be at a point and stuff and everything that where damn, I'm gonna kill this woman here because we can't get along. So you're partying because death is imminent if you don't.
Wait a minute. And then look at the Catholic Church in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania.
Oh man.
That's ridiculous.
That's another whole monster.
300
That's another whole monster in itself. They've
been molesting these poor children for decades.
Absolutely.
This is ridiculous. And this ain't the first time we heard about all of this stuff that's going on in the Catholic Church. And and then you got these poor children that's still living in cages over there, in somewhere, wherever they are, on the edge of the border, can't connect to their parents and what have you. So, I don't know. I just what is going on in this country?
The devil is out there, like you just said. There is a devil out there, and that's the devil. He's out there. He's
evil and wickedness.
He's in the church. The devil is in the church. He's running around there, and we have to recognize who that devil and stuff is and deal with it.
Well, I believe that the devil's in the White House.
We have to take. I'm gonna take some responsibility and stuff, Ted, for 45 and stuff being there. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna tell this audience and stuff out there that I'm taking some responsibility for him sitting there in that White House.
Yeah, because you didn't do enough.
That, and also I didn't make people aware. I didn't holler loud enough and everything to make people aware that this is a devil here. We need to stop him, because at one time, Mr. Harvey, and you and I spoke about this. If you go back to some of those earlier videos that we have, I mentioned this stuff, that this man might win.
Yeah.
And I might vote for him.
Yeah, you said it. You said it.
So I'm taking responsibility now for putting him up there. And so I'm gonna do something that
some of the things he said.
I'm gonna do something that my Republican counterparts, I ain't saying I'm a Republican or not, but I'm gonna say my Republican counterparts and stuff are not doing, speaking out against injustice and something that is wrong. If there's something wrong going out there, you need to speak up.
Yeah, well,
what the heck. But that doesn't mean that I don't like Trump, because I'm saying that, hey man, you wrong. If you my friend, I'm gonna look at you and say, hey Ted, hey man, this ain't right, man. You got to start changing.
And you should.
Absolutely, you got to speak up and say something. And that's all we're asking our folks and stuff out there, either Republican Party, even the Democratic Party. If there's something wrong, you need to speak up and let it be known that, okay, I might like some of Trump's ideas and stuff. We might have some good ideas in some ways, but some of these ideas that he got, man, are screwed up. Look at the tariff. This country, man, is really deeply behind the 8 ball and stuff when it comes to imports and exports. We are deeply behind
all the deregulations in there.
Yeah, we are deeply behind the ball.
They don't understand, man.
But his way of trying to change that is going to destroy a whole lot of things that's going on out there. We need to figure out our way.
What about taking securities from prominent security analyst people? What about that? Using that as a political ploy, just because he's being criticized. What about
that has no
press? What about calling the press the enemy of the country?
The security clearance thing, Ted, has no factual thing at all. I'm talking about some things.
Yes, it does.
I'm talking about some things and stuff that we do need to correct. And that one of them I brought up was the tariffs. We do need to change that. But how he is doing that is my problem. I have a problem with how it's happening. Now, the security clearance thing and stuff and everything, that's dead wrong. You don't do that. We got people out there who have been taking care of our country and stuff, Ted, for decades, all of their lives. You look at John Brennan, for 30-some years and stuff, he has been dedicated his whole life.
You read that article? You read that article?
And to do this man like this and stuff at the end of his life and everything is just horrible. You don't do that. And that's why you have so many people out there who are rising up and who have been past CIA people and stuff, who past intelligence folks and stuff, who are rising up and speaking up and saying, you are wrong, my friend. You are wrong.
Well, he's wrong in a lot of things, but you know what?
There are some things.
My prayer is this, that this man shut the hell up.
Well, I listened to a few people and stuff out there, and we are looking at this election as a stop all and everything and stuff to him. Well, unless he is impeached and stuff, he's going to be our president till at least 2020.
Well, I don't want to get it.
So what do you do? Well,
I want him just to lose. Just lose them when he runs. That's all. Whoever runs against him, just lose.
But he's gonna. But you talking another. You talking 2.5 years that he's gonna be sitting there in that White House doing damage, no matter what.
Because he's gonna be out of his mind. I mean, he's gonna shut the hell up.
No, he's already got dementia, Ted, and they're gonna protect him. He's being protected already. You see that? Everybody in the White House trying to protect him.
I'm believing God is going to put somebody in there with some sense.
Because Pence ain't. Oh man, he's worse than him.
I know. I said
he was gonna they were going to impeach him from the governorship, but he was governor of Indiana. You talking about screwing a state up? He screwed Indiana up bad, and even his Republican folks didn't want to throw him out. But anyway, Mr. Harvey, we are looking at this watch up here and everything. We are at the closing moments and stuff of our telecast and stuff here. And there are a few items that you did not speak about, and there was a couple items and stuff that I did not speak about.
Run it through.
But you can't do that. You can't run through that because you had, I'm just looking at your thing. You had Keith Ellison, and then you had Steve Miller. You never even touched upon them and stuff. It's what was going to happen. I think you had a couple other folks that you can talk about. And then I wanted to talk about this actor and stuff from The Wire, Michael K. Williams, and his ideas and stuff on the community. And I think that I need to have on our next telecast and stuff, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do some research and stuff on that and talk about what's going on. And also, we want to make sure that our viewers and stuff out there, like we spoke about yesterday and stuff, they need to start subscribing and stuff to our YouTube channel. Go on and like us and stuff on Facebook and look at our blog items and stuff that are out there. So we want to keep this telecast and stuff going. We want to keep everything going. So far, we've been operating on a shoestring budget to keep these issues and stuff out there amongst out there for people to see and to view. But a telecast like this and stuff requires money and stuff to keep going. So if you come out and you subscribe to our channel and stuff and everything, you don't have, that doesn't mean that you have to pay any money. Just subscribe, because the more subscribers we have, the more money advertisers and stuff give us and stuff to have you to come on and watch.
Well, we have potentially to get advertisers because we have subscribers.
Absolutely.
However, we never know who's listening to us, and if you're out there and you would like to advertise, hey, contact us, and we'll be happy to, because we are two people that we're very opinionated. We like to give facts, but also we give our opinions. And some of our opinions, and I know some of my opinions might differ.
They differ.
They differ, and my opinions might be unlikable. A lot of them, because I'll be honest with you, I'm just pro-black. That's all it is. I mean, I love white people too, and all kinds of people, but I'm pro-black. That's just me. Everything I do is just about black folks.
We are pro-urban community.
And I'm pro-poor people too.
Well, we all up there. We all used to have. We're going to be doing some things.
Oh yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah, see there?
Actor, man. This dude is an excellent actor.
Absolutely. He comes from the urban area. He comes right from the ghetto, from the projects of New York.
Too typecast, but this cat can act.
Yes, sir.
He'd be like, he'll cut your throat in a second.
If you look at that, that's that scar that he's got on the side of his face and everything comes from a fight that he had at the tavern.
Bad dude.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's the one that I want to talk about and stuff. Is some ideas that he had for the urban community, where he came from, and how he thought about our community and what needs to happen and stuff there. Some good ideas and stuff for people to get involved in and to end that cycle and stuff that's going on. Well, we can't end it because we've been fighting poverty and stuff since I was a little boy. But there's always going to be poor people, and there's always going to have final ways and stuff to help them to get through. And when you sit down there and you are totally against abortion, and when the child comes here on this earth and you stop helping because you force people to have a child that they knew they couldn't take care of, then there's something wrong and stuff in this country, I think, Ted. That's probably one of the worst things I can see. I if you are against abortion and stuff, fine. But like they said, life doesn't begin or in an inception. And if you're going to tell people that they got to have their children, then you better help feed them, help educate them, and help bring them into this world and stuff and do
So they
something
can
good
have
for
free
them.
health care and free education.
Absolutely.
And a roof over their head.
Got to have it. You got to do something about it, and you got to continue to do something about it. If you want to continue to try to stop abortion, then you better continue to help them once they're here on this earth. Because just because you told them that they better have them, when they hit this earth and everything, they need milk, they need diapers, they need food, they need clothing, and they need shelter. And they need someone and stuff to help them through their education. Not only that parent that you forced to have their child.
Sending them off to foster care neither.
Absolutely. Let them stay with their parents and stuff and everything and take care of them in the right way and make sure that they're okay. So anyway, like you said, that's how we need to get off of that soapbox sometime. But that's my idea. I think it's absolutely wrong for people to force folks to have something that they can't take care of. That's not right. So you have to look past and stuff the fact that they did that. And I understand what you're coming from, that, life is precious. It is. And we need to help and to take care of and do what's needed to be done. So anyway, we guys will see you guys and stuff on Wednesday. We're going to be doing some real serious program changes and stuff here starting next month. We're going to hopefully we're working on trying to do some live interviews and stuff from business owners, right, Ted?
Business owners or, hey, potential politicians. Hopefully, some young people out there that want to run for office and all kinds of things. We want to be current. We want to be involved and be engaged for those people that would like to experience what we're experiencing, and that's basically what it is. We want to try to help the community as best we can, is give out knowledge and information. I mean, I'm loving what I'm doing right now, and I want it to be better. And we take all kind of criticisms, any kind you want, throw it at us, and encouragement.
Absolutely.
And encouragement.
Absolutely. And we take it wholeheartedly. It doesn't mean anything. If it's bad, send it. If you think it's bad, send it, because we accept it. That's how we are. So anyway, we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Hey baby, what you trying to do? Spent the night just trying to find you. You the hottest one under the sun, and I'm under your spell. We stuck just like glue. You ain't got the free crib, oh well. You and me can head to the hotel. Whatever we do, just don't tell. I don't need anybody all on my coattail. I feel your energy and I ain't trying to fight it. Your vibe is way too exciting. I know I'm who you wanna ride with. Don't fake it, I know that you like it.
It's more than just emotions. I get more emotions. All you gotta do is focus, not what you used to, but you like it. But you like it. Ooh, yeah. I've been out here looking for you. Just something special, man.
Get up on my roller coaster. Get inside my